Since the very beginning of his career, Nasty C has been a big thinker. He's always tried to do things differently, and that's probably why he's advanced to the international level where he is today.
In this video, I'll be discussing Nasty C, the coolest kid in Africa, and one of the biggest hip-hop artists in South Africa. Let's see his social media to see what he's all about. On YouTube, he's at Nasty C Official and has over 1 million subscribers. On Instagram, he's nasty_CSA and has 4 million followers. On TikTok, he's nasty_CSA and has 627,000 followers. On Spotify, Nasty C has over 887,000 monthly listeners. For context, Nasty C has a lot more monthly listeners than all of his peers combined. Even comparing him to the generation of rappers that came before him, he has more monthly listeners than most of the OG rappers that came before, with KO being the only OG rapper who has monthly listeners in the same realm as Nasty C. LAKEY and Young Stunner, being the hottest artists in South Africa at the moment, are the only two rappers with more monthly listeners than Nasty C, even though they are not traditional rappers or hip-hop artists. And Twitter, he's at nasty_CSA and has 2 million followers. And if you're looking for Facebook, if anybody uses Facebook for anything other than business,
can you talk about, like, last year, I think you went to 34 new international markets, right? What is your perspective? Like, when you first started out, did you think that, you know, did you have global domination on your sites? Or were you just thinking, you know what, Africa, home, South Africa? Like, what was going through your thoughts as you evolved?
My whole thing since I started, I always looked at myself as somebody who was once gonna be like a global superstar. So whenever I made my music, I didn't make it thinking, oh, this is only gonna exist here in South Africa or in Africa or in a certain market. Like, I always just made music for the entire world. And I always like believed that if I keep going as hard as I'm going and keep improving, then it's only gonna be like a matter of exposure. You know what I mean?
the second come up. With the love and success Nasty C has received in South Africa, with being one of the biggest hip-hop artists in the country, many people would be happy and content with the success, financial status, and social status Nasty C has attained, but not Nasty C, as he sees himself going beyond South Africa and gaining international success. Nasty C doesn't only want to be one of the biggest hip-hop artists in Africa, but he also wants to be one of the biggest hip-hop artists in the world. Early signs of this was in 2016 when Future, at the height of his popularity, brought out Nasty C in the 2016 MTV Africa Music Awards. In 2018, Nasty C released his second studio album, Strings and Blings, with the smash hit single King featuring A$AP Ferg. Fast forward to 2020, Nasty C, at the age of 23 years old, would ink a significant record deal with Def Jam Recordings in the United States, which gained him access to the American market. Nasty C made his formal US debut with Ebro on Apple Music Beats 1 with his new tune, There They Go. Later on in 2020, he dropped his highly anticipated third studio album, Zulu Man with Some Power, the album with the highest number of international features so far. Zulu Man with Some Power has 2 features from his longtime idol T.I., a feature from Ari Lennox. The album also features verses from Lil Goddard and the late Lil Keed. Zulu Man with Some Power did well for Nasty C, with a couple of songs in the album gaining millions of streams on Spotify. Nasty C gained some criticism for calling the album Zulu Man with Some Power, with little to no Zulu in the album.
See, that's another thing. These people want to come and judge. They don't even know what your plan was in the first place. I know what I wanted to do with the album. My album and the whole title and the logo, the aesthetic, everything. The shit I say in the interviews. Saw a plan that ties in with the album. What I'm trying to do is, I'm going global, but at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that as I do that, people know who I am, they know where I come from, they know what I rep, and it's not too hard or too harsh for them to digest. They can still say, okay, cool. His music is actually fucking fire, though. Like, I understand everything he's saying. Is he really Zulu? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, there is this song where he raps in Zulu. I wonder, what's his Steve Biko? Let me do some more research. And that has done that. It has done that. Do you know what I mean? My album went #1 in the world. That I've never had any #1 anything in the world ever in my life. That album did exactly what I wanted it to do, bro. Like, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. For me, it doesn't make sense to even entertain what Udinota has to say. It's like, what have you done? Like, what have you done that outshines my shit because you feel like my shit is trash? Like, show me something. Like,
Nasty C in recent years has been traveling to America frequently, doing press interviews and meeting up with some of the biggest artists in America, networking and collaborating. Nasty C stands out amongst his peers and he is constantly pushing the boundaries of what he can do. He is also the only artist among his peers trying to break the international market and doing his own tours around the country. Shane Eagle has been quiet lately, even though he released an album in 2022. Reese seemingly is comfortable with the lane he has created for himself and doesn't seem to be pushing to go mainstream, sticking to making music for his niche fans, with many accusing him of his sound becoming repetitive over the last 2 years.
Somebody else came out to say that the guy's a good rapper, but the same cadence and same flow like Rick Ross. Come on now. And basically, a lot of these comments are sort of saying the same thing, that these guys starting to sound a bit too repetitive. And I don't know if I disagree with them because, you know, as much as I enjoy Aris's music, there are times where I feel like, man, this kind of sounds like I've heard it before. And this is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but I don't know, man. You guys tell me what you think about it.
And MT, being as talented as he is, isn't being managed properly, wasting his potential. Nasty C is the only one of his peers pushing the envelopes and trying to go further than anyone that has come before him. And he tries to become an international superstar. Any success he achieves on an international level will greatly benefit the South African music industry, and also encourage other artists coming after him to shoot for the moon and become international superstars. This is why Nasty C may be the most important hip-hop artist of his generation.